What's up, everybody? Ben, the Doctor of Doom, is here to show you how to play Living Pyre.
There's nothing left to give, nothing.
Grab your guitar, crank it up. Let's go. All right, everyone, I've gotten a lot of requests for this playthrough, so I'm going to start with a full speed playthrough playing along to the song, and then afterwards I will break it down section by section. So check the timestamps in the information below if you want to skip around. Otherwise, let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to break down these riffs for you, and we'll start with the main verse riff. And it goes a little something like this. It starts in a sort of fairly standard D kind of power chord position, open low string, fretting the 5th and 7th frets on the 5th and 4th strings, respectively. And then we're moving around. The melody involves moving notes around on the higher D string there. So it goes. And you'll notice that that low string is in there throughout. Then it moves to one of those wonderful chemist chords, which of course is a power chord kind of position. Jesus fucking Christ. Then it moves to one of those wonderful chemist. I'm just going to do this whole fucking. And it starts open low string with a sort of classic root 5th power chord here, 5th and 7th frets on your 5th and 4th strings, respectively, pedaling that low open string against it, and the melody comes from fretting different notes along the higher D string. So it goes like this. And then we move to a couple of those chemist chords, as I like to call them, and really all they are taking power chords on your low 3 strings and then adding the 3rd of the chord on the higher D string there. So we start with this F major, right? And we do a little thing that we do. We do a little something that we've done in other songs, which is we add the 3rd fret on the G string, and when it's played against the 7th fret on the D string, that minor 2nd dyad is a fairly dissonant interval, but in this case, given what the notes are, it's still got a melodic quality. Hear that? So. Then we move down. So from this D sharp major, and again, these chord names are in reference to their fretboard position, not the actual notes. The actual notes, I mean, this is going to be a B major. But anyway, don't get confused. Just think about it's a minor or major chord, based around root 5th and then an octave above the 3rd. So we go from this major chord to this, and then we shift from that major chord to a major 6th. So you play it together. That's the first half of the riff. Second half of the riff goes a little something like this. And then suspended second, power chord, power chord, power chord. Put it together. And then it slides up into a really, really strange pair of chords. So here we've got what would be a it's a G, and then you add the or I guess you could say you raise the 5th, and then it's got the octave of the 5th itself, which in turn winds up creating this major 2nd interval. But again, given what the notes are, it adds that melodic quality. And then here, it's a major triad, but we're playing the 2nd in the bass. And because that 5th fret doesn't move, it highlights the movement of the higher notes while adding a a particular kind of thickness to the chord voicings themselves. Now, the only time that changes is once we go into the verse proper. On that turnaround, leading up to it, instead of me going, what I do, and I adjust this little twist, is I go that. And I just pick the absolute hell out of 2 dyads. The first is going to spell out this major chord, which against that power chord winds up spelling out a giant minor chord. So, and then I slide from that major dyad to this minor dyad, essentially going only a few octaves higher. So I go. And then finally, right before the chorus, we add a little harmonized walk down. There's the verse. Okay, for the chorus, the music changes keys. We modulate from... I'm going to confuse the shit out of y'all and myself here. So the song's in A sharp minor, because we are tuned to a low A sharp. But we modulate to that 5th fret for the chorus, which for us is a D sharp. And what's interesting here is we don't shift to D sharp, Locrian or anything. We are still playing using the notes that we've been playing with the whole time, which is the natural minor with the lowered 2nd. So instead of, we've got, that's where that 1st fret comes in. So again, while it is changing to this D sharp minor key, we're still using all the same notes. It's an important thing to remember here. So it's a very classic Chemist series of riffs, in so much as you've got the big sludgy, sort of, there's some chromatic movement in there, and then we shift it into harmony mode and have a lot of diatonic harmonies. So let's jump right into the chordal version of the chorus. One more time, play it at doom speed. Then when we introduce the harmony, really what's happening is we're just harmonizing that same progression, if you think about the root of each of those chords, but we are harmonizing them in thirds, like this. I, of course, am playing the higher harmony. I guess I should specify that. Meanwhile, Phil is continuing on with the chorus, playing the same progression, just moving those melody notes up an octave to match my harmony. After the chorus, we have this post-chorus riff that's very melodic, that picks the tempo back up. And again, it stays in that fifth position to start and moves some chords around. Continuing with the motif of letting the higher notes in the chords drive the melodic story, while maintaining that classic fuzzy thickness to those chords like we do. So and I split off there and play a couple of arpeggios. So the clean part is a little bit tricky in this song. I'm going to play it a little slow. Phil and I play different things. And then there is an acoustic guitar that has doubled what's happening. The acoustic guitar is tuned differently, but we're not going to worry about all that right now. The main thing to worry about is this section. So again, I'm going to play it slowly. Starts out in this A minor position, or actually, sorry, D minor position. Then we slide up to that diminished chord. And then Phil mostly repeats that phrase. Sorry, I have a hair just flying around. While I move up to a harmony. And my harmony part goes like this. So again, I'll break it down into a couple of different sections. Starts off, and then we end with two fairly widely voiced arpeggios. During the mellow death, sweet death kind of bridge, we are moving around a little bit. First, switching between these higher pitched dyads and triads, and then low open notes, and then moving to a sort of gallopy at the gates feeling harmonized riff. So my part goes like this. After the guitar harmony section, we have this short but really crushingly heavy riff that gets us back around into the chorus. Real simple, real chromatic, goes something like this. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.